when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. All in when I show up, whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate.
Broken dreams in my pocket, golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, cause you caught it, you caught it. You're golden, golden, honestly you know it. Me under the street light right there, so I could show you. You're golden, golden, honestly you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden, yeah, you're golden. You're golden, yeah, you're golden, golden, yeah. When we meet, hold my hand in the darkness. Summer heat, bodies lay on the carpet. Eye to eye, glistening, no, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden, honestly you know it. Me under the
keep you right here beside me. I need to know I'm not alone. Now take it home as the night begins to fade away to yesterday. I wanna stay in this moment here. I need to know which way to go. Now take me home as the night begins to fade away to yesterday. I wanna stay in this moment here with you. In this moment here with you. In this moment here with you.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Yeah. All in when I show up. Whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
Good evening and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport here for round 6 of the season. It is Zandvoort, and yes, your eyes do not deceive you, it is a wet Zandvoort. And let me tell you, as you just see Ginger Bush there lose control a little bit, it is a wet, cold, tricky track. Zandvoort is difficult at the best of times here on ACC and in these GT3 cars, none more so in these wet conditions. It is going to be a fantastic race. I'm your host, Mathew Duffin, joined by the commentator tonight, joined by my co-commentator for a Tuesday night of Joseph Bates, a.k.a. Fury. Joe, good evening, how are you?
Good evening, Matt. I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And obviously, as always, doing the pit monitoring, it is that guy, PN Motorsport. PN, obviously, we'll hear you pop in and out from time to time. Good evening, you well?
Yeah, not too bad, I'm considering. And
Good.
It's just going to be fun tonight.
Going to be very fun tonight. We've got a wet, tricky Zandvoort. We're in Max Verstappen and Nick de Vries's backyard. I'm sure Nick de Vries can't wait to race here in Formula 1. As we get in later into that Formula 1 season. Obviously, they head to Spa this weekend in real life. We come now to Holland before going back to British soil next week at Silverstone. Over the pond to Laguna Seca in California and coming back to Europe to end off the season in our Pro-Am commentator, Benedict Varga's backyard of Hungary. Joe, Zandvoort, a very tricky circuit in the dry. These conditions make it a different ball game.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how these AM guys are going to take it tonight. There is definitely a couple of people struggling out there, especially, I feel like he's been picked on quite a lot, but Dan and Orthodox and that Retia is just, it's the way it just slides. He can't control it.
He can't control it at all. Right then, we have 16 drivers on the grid. CV is a new driver as Leon Fernie just has a bit of a spin, but we'll go through the current championship standings. They look a little like this. It's this man, Jay, who leads the championship by 8 points, but can you believe it? His championship rival is currently on a plane back home and will not make tonight's race. Ant, not here. Tech leader, yet to be on the podium, but he's down on his pace at the moment in that Bentley, but he's P3, 8 points off the championship lead. So far, sorry, not Tech Leader, that's Future Revenge I'm on about, sorry. Tech Leader, P3 after his win last week, he's tied 8 points. Then it's Future Revenge, not been on the podium yet this season. He's currently P4, 11 points off the back before Diet Iron Brew himself, Emo Guy, is sat P5 at the moment, 15 points behind. Another big car that's not been on the podium is this man, Baraba, as he exits the pits. He is P6 overall at the moment. Gingerbush missed last week, but he's back this week and he's quick at the moment. He's currently P7 on 78 points. And can he get any closer to Jay in this championship? 25 off the back. Danlik then is doing all right as well. He's only 29 off the back, tied with John Andrews, who's down the order a little bit. Crosses the line, doesn't improve. He's also 29 points off the back in 9th place. Quick guy, Bemba, 4/10 off the pole, off the quickest time in practice at the moment. He's 40 points off the championship lead with Sharkbait, who's rapid out there. Didn't see the best of him back at Kyle Army last week. He's 47 off the back. KLF back this week, and he looks like he's got some pace in his McLaren. He is currently P12, 48 points off the back. No Shoemaker tonight, but Leon Fernie back for another race. He is 14th in the championship, 31 points, 72 points off of the championship leader. Oh, he's back, has to start at the back of the pack, apart from the new driver. So he has got a lot of work to do in this championship standings so far. He is currently 22 points, 81 off the back. Checo Bress back with us this week as well. He is P17, 17 points, 86 off the back before an Orthodubs in his Retia. 11 points, 92 off the back. Lee Hendy not here, he's on 6. And the new driver, CV Urena, is on no points yet to score. And he's coming in. And Joe, we... A while now. Oh, sorry. Joe, can you hear me?
There we go.
There we go. It's a rule at SimPlay. It has been for a while now that the last 3 races of the season, no new joiners can race. So this for AM locks the grid in of what the drivers are. Nobody else can join the amateur league now because as from next week, we're into them final 3 rounds. And the reason we do this is to not let drivers interfere with the championship.
Yeah, I think that's a good rule just because, like, you could be fighting for either constructors or obviously drivers. But if you get new drivers coming in, for example, who are friends of the people you're having like a drivers or constructors battle with, they could just obviously back off the pack, and then when you go to lap them, just completely hold you up until your championship rivals on the back of you.
Yeah, indeed they could. So on to the Zandvoort race we go. Are you a fan of the Zandvoort circuit?
It's a bit of a up-down one for me. Obviously, I think I didn't race it last season, I don't think. I think that was the one I missed.
Yeah, can't really... Yeah, I think you did, yeah. But in general?
I mean, yeah, I kind of like it, but obviously sometimes it's a bit of a testy track. It tests your limits as much as any other track, to be honest, but yeah, it's definitely a fun track and an interesting one at that too.
And then the rain, we've seen the rain. The rain feels a little better on ACC than Project Cars. You don't just get random puddles popping up in the middle of the circuit like we used to have on Project Cars. The rain just adds another factor into this, doesn't it?
Yeah, obviously, like you said, the rain on this feels completely different to the one in Project Cars 2. Because it's just like, this just feels more like realistic and just a lot better driving style than Project Cars 2 gave us.
And we're not seeing the rain light up over the next 30 minutes, so that's interesting to see. Evening to Micro J's in the chat. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button as well if you like what you see, and hit the bell to be notified. Myself and Benedict Varga will be in the commentary box tomorrow night, 8 PM UK time in PM Motorsport, and Dan Davis will be back in the box 8 PM UK time for Thursday night, where Joe will be on the circuit. I sadly won't be this week, but please, guys, make sure you head over to Racing Unleashed and give me your support Friday night and Saturday morning as I go, obviously, back professional commentating over this. Make sure you tune into that and give me your support. But we'll be back Sunday night with me and Pien in the box for Porsche Cup, Joe, which you're currently having a good time in.
Yeah, what can I say? I mean, I love the Porsches, like the Carrera Cups. You've seen it from the first day at Donny. I was like, they're my favourite.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I'm leading the championship for Porsche Carrera Cups.
I think for Donny in August, when we're actually there, me and you will have to have a word and see if you can get you in a seat. Say, but look, this is what I've done on SimPlay Motorsport. Because everybody obviously watches the stream, so they should know who you are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
SimPlay Motorsport's the best streaming channel for race out there.
You know it is. Right, 12 and a half minutes left of practice session so far. We want to talk pit lane. So I wonder if Dan on Orthodubs can hear us in there, as there is a poll out at the moment for race winner. Gingerbush Sharkbait, Dan on Orthodubs, considering he's the man on pole, and Ben Bath is in the vote this week. And would you believe it, the chat are going wild for a bit of Gingerbush and a bit of Dan Davis.
I like what you did there.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Leo 30 is a bit wide, cover through a quick right-hander.
Now, if Dan is listening, I'd love Dan to pull into the pits at the end of this lap so we can show you the pit lane and exit and entry, because unlike previous weeks at SimPlay Motorsport where you can't cross the white line, the rules here are you're allowed to cross the dashed white line on entry only, if I'm correct, PN, yes?
Yes, indeed. We put a post up about it in the ACC Discord section, saying that, well, you got no choice to go in because it's not across the entrance of pit lane.
Yeah, you've got no choice on the pit entry to cross that dash line, but pit exit, because if you cross that dash line and go over to the left-hand side of the circuit, you'll be coming onto the racing line. So we have asked drivers to stay inside the dash line on exit.
Yeah, that's correct.
Hopefully Dan's heard us, and hopefully he'll pull into the pits now.
If not, you get a lovely 30-second penalty when you cross that line.
You will, yeah, indeed you will. Obviously, fans of Dan, if people want to vote for Dan, he's in the poll to vote for Driver of the Day. If you disagree, for Driver of the Day, for Race Winner, if you disagree with those 4 race winners, get a comment in of who you think will win this race. As Dan now is going to pull into the pit lane, I do believe. So you see the dashed white lines there. That is fine from Dan. You can cross the dashed white lines. You cannot cross that or touch that white line on entry. It's a very tricky pit entry. Dan's now going to sublimely drive through the pit lane here. This is great work. He gives us a cheeky flash as well. And as he comes down the pit lane... Only natural to flash. Now, don't overly flash, because you will get done for over excessive flashing.
Flashy, flashy.
As you come out of the pit lane, you see there the line is straight away dashed. So we are telling drivers to stay inside that dashed line. And if you thanked our models, Joe and Keegs, for their glorious modelling on the thumbnails for Porsche Cup, let's thank our walkway model, Dan Davis, for doing it through the pit lane then. Speaking of Davises, his dad, KLF 900, a regular here at SimPlay Motorsport, is John Andrews, practicing pit entry as well, gets it absolutely nailed. He's currently out on the circuit, top 7 separated by just over a second, Joe. That's impressive in these conditions.
Yeah, it's quite surprising to see this pack as close as it is in these wet conditions, because you can just see the track with all of those white lines. Well done. Congratulations.
Well done, Joe.
Wet lines, yeah, thank you. Dude, the wet lines forming from obviously the rain, but then you've got the dry line coming through now, where there's so many people out on track, it's just starting to form that dry line, which might help them through the race.
Well, if we go onto Kelly's bonnet camera, there we go. You can just see what Joe's on about here. You can just see offline, you can see how wet it is. Online, it will still be damp, it will still be greasy. But like Joe says, it will be drier than going off of line. And the track, even though the rain is still falling, will forever sort of improve as Kelly just spins the rear around and nearly catches that of... Oh, stay still, Kelly. Shark waits there now. You don't want to get bitten by the shark as Kelly spins it around and away he goes. Ginger Bush now takes the lead in the poll with 8 votes currently. He's got 38% of the votes. And Ben Baff is now tied with Dan. In fact, Dan gets another vote. So the ladies love Dan. He must have been speaking about it at the Barbie film on Sunday.
Matt, how do I get the cameras back to normal? I'm stuck on Kelly again.
You have to return to the garage. If you press drive. As we say...
Options. I'm on the helicam right now and you're getting a lovely view of everything.
There we go. As we say good evening to Micro J's, Fury's Grandad, and our Pro-Am commentator, Benedict Varga, in the chat at the moment. And I'm sure Ben enjoyed his time at the F1 at the weekend. It wasn't a snooze fest at all. And he's getting forward to the Hungarian GT3 race. I'm sure that's the one he really wants to perform in. Obviously, the winner of our Sport 2.4 hour race. As we're on board with a can of Diet Iron Brew, I can't help myself tonight. Don't know what's wrong with me. Really can't help myself.
Agent Tibbles.
Agent Tibbles is tomorrow night for me and Benedict Vargas to commentate on. But we've got Emo Guy, currently the 666. Now, Joe, I want to just talk about Emo Guy a little bit here because he came in at Catalonia. He had a little battle with Kelly and then sailed off into the sunset, had a really good race win. Since then, we've not seen the best of Emo Guy. Just before I get into that with you, evening to Shane and Daz as well. Joe, we've not seen the best of Emo Guy since Catalonia. Is that the Nissan at certain tracks, or what do we think that could possibly be?
Well, as you know, and I imagine most people know, the Nissan on this game is such a big and heavy car. It's like, in my personal opinion, obviously I've driven the Bentley and the GTR for testing in seasons, and the Nissan GTR just feels like such a bigger car than the Bentley. It feels like you're steering a ship tanker ship, even. But
now, with that said, do we think that it's the quality of Tech Leader and Ben Baff coming in that has stopped Emo Guy, or do we think that maybe the Nissan hasn't suited certain tracks?
I think, obviously, Catalonia's got quite a few good straights.
Yeah.
Obviously, not many, but it's got enough for the GTR to unleash its amazing engine. I just love the sound of the GTR. But obviously on tracks like Zandvoort, you've only got really one long straight and the rest of it's just like a hill climb.
Yeah, it's tight, twisty. You're left, right, you feel like you're chopping at the wheel every time. I think that's why I like Zandvoort so much. It's my kind of circuit. It's a bit like Interlagos on Formula 1. First sector, it's pretty much a long start straight, final corner to first corner, and then the minute you get out to turn 3, left, right, and I think that really suits this drive. So we'll see what he can do tonight. Obviously, Silverstone, we may see the GTR back at its best. Couple of straights, the Wellington straight, Hangar straight, the 2 start straights at Silverstone. Could see the GTR back at its best there?
Yeah, I think the GTR might obviously go well at Silverstone since obviously the big straights, but when it comes to the corners of it, I think, for example, like the Ferrari and McLaren, and the Porsche possibly. Obviously, I've not really driven the Porsche, so I'm not 100% sure what it's capable of. But I think the Ferrari and the McLaren, from what obviously we've seen, and possibly the Bentley, will catch him in the corners. But if he's got a lead, he's got a big enough car to defend himself. And just park it wherever he needs to, and hopefully he can just do well at Silverstone. And
we saw last week, didn't we, that we had... No, I didn't compare this to Interlagos. I said that you're forever changing, turning left and right. It's a track that's similar to Interlagos. It's, in terms of you're always busy at the wheel. Evening to Racing Spirits and Mike Matthews in the chat, and that's whose question I was answering there. The weather scares me, especially here, says Ben. The weather scares all of us. Good job I'm in Switzerland and not racing this week. One man who we saw had a lot... I'd love to. One man who we saw who had a lot of pace in a straight line last week was Dan in the Reti. If you watch the highlights just before tonight's programme, we caught, I think Dan overtook Danlick down the straight and was behind Danlick, pulled out, pulled in front. Even before the braking zone, Dan was a good half a car length in front of Danlick. So it's the Reti there as well that's got good straight line speed, but may struggle in the tight, twisty bits.
Yeah, the Reti has got obviously that. It's basically the Gallardo. I don't know why it's called the Reti on this, but it's got that V10 engine, so it's got the power, but it's horrible in the corners. But I believe last week Dan was about half a second behind Danlick coming out the last corner, and obviously that straight line speed of that was just insane.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Good evening to Channel Quill in the chat, as well as Mike Matthews, who says, I'll let you off with that. PN and Joe, just keep the show going a second. I do have to quickly run to the toilet just before the end of free practice.
No worries.
Over to you, Joe. Well, I'm just pit lane.
I can't find it. We've got Future Revenge coming out of the pits, coming into turn 1, obviously. Very tight hairpin, and in the wet, it's going to be pretty slidey. Although he is going very slow. Ah, there you go. Now he's going full throttle.
Full throttle. Put the headlights on. Push.
See. Now the one person I am watching tonight will be Dan, because that Retia coming through the tight, twisty sections is going to be very interesting. And before we went live tonight, was watching him doing a little bit of practice, and he kept hitting a couple of curbs, taking flight, and putting it in the gravel trap. So it's going to be interesting to see where he can do, or what he can do tonight, since he's also starting on pole, I believe, PN.
He is starting on pole, because LCH, who happens to be my cousin, can't race this week either. But no one will miss it. Oh, Smithy, you're in the wrong chat again. Over to SimPlay.
Come on, Smithy, get on over here, son. Need to see you in the SimPlay chat, boy.
Whoa! Future Revenge was slow in front of John Andrews. I just flicked to it.
I can't switch cameras still. I'm stuck on like the close chase camera.
Oh, you need to leave and come back.
Oh god.
Because once you're stuck on a car, you're stuck on a car.
Ginger Bush coming through the. Ooh! He's dropped up through the quick right-hander and off into the wall. Oh my god, that was big contact.
Not as big as before we did our second full season, first full season on here, where I've got a video clip of Argent barrel rolling in the Bentley.
Oh, that was fantastic last season.
Yeah, fantastic.
That was fantastic. Evening to Audio Sport in the chat, one of our delightful sponsors. Go and check out Audio Sport on Facebook, link in the description, as well as Design Manchester, the guys who paid for the ACC server. Go and check them out in the description. Racing Spirit, though, guys, in the comments box, Joe and PN. How you guys doing? Just recently discovered this channel. Now, I've seen Racing Spirit comment on, and this is brilliant. He's commented on, Joe might not remember this was before Joe. The very first streams of SimPlay was when we did a qualification period for Project Cars, see who was Pro and who was Pro-Am. He's been watching from then. So he started at the very... No, I don't think you are. I think your first race, you came in at Spa, I want to say. I think Spa was one of your first races. You was in the GTR. Yeah, you was. But he's been watching since the very first video of SimPlay Motorsport. So Racing Spirit, it is great to have you here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the old streams as well. And yeah, make sure you hit subscribe to that button as we are close to that 500 mark. Good evening to Mother Davis as well. 27 people currently in. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit that bell to be notified. As Joe, PN, we're at the end of practice. Let's get your predictions. Race winner, please.
Oh, it's hard to look past Sharkbait. Obviously, you got Ginger Bush, who was flying at the start, but then Sharkbait managed to get a perfect lap together and is now almost 3 tenths ahead.
Well, let me give you the grid order before you give me a definitive answer. Dan Unorthodox starts on pole position. Checo Bress P2. Leon Fernie will be 3rd. KLF 4th. Sharkbait 5th. Ben Bath 6th. John Andrews 7th. Dan Lick 8th. Ginger Bush 9th. Baraba 10th. Emo 11th, Future Revenge 12th, Tech Leader 13th, J 14th, O 15th, and CV 16th place.
I'm gonna have to go Sharkbait, I think.
Okay, I like that.
Oh,
I do think that's interesting. Pien?
I think Kelly.
Kelly for Pien. Evening to Dean Wasocki. I'm going to go the way. Do you know what? Go on, Dan. You start on pole position. You know, I'm going to give it Dan. So, Sharkbait for Joe. I'm going to write these down as well, so we don't forget them. So, Joe, Sharkbait. Pien, Kelly. Me, Dan.
Smithy in my chat, not in the SimPlay chat, has just said Dan first, Kelly second.
Smithy,
Ooh, no,
your
that
Smithy,
would be interesting.
your vote doesn't count until you're in the SimPlay chat. Evening to Dean Wasocki. Some very fast pace from Am here, says Mike Matthews. Dan, I hate this car. Well, I've backed you. 47% of the chat have backed you. Do not let them down, because they are the ones, as we return to garage now to make sure we're ready, they are the ones, you've got the most votes in the chat by the public who want to see you win in the Retia. He's just gone, I'm 7/10 off my dad in the chat. Hey.
Yeah, but your dad's in the McLaren.
And you're starting on pole, Sam.
Yeah. Sender, bye. Right, we get ready to go racing here. So once again, it's Joe who thinks Sharkbait will win. Pierre will think Kelly. I've gone for Dan. As Kelly. Well, get yourself back in, Joe. It'll be fine. As Audio Sport, which is KLF, says, thanks, Pierre. Curse of the commentator. Kelly knows it's a real thing. Right,
it is a
so
real thing.
It 100% is. Not only does Dan start on pole, it's actually put him on the front row of the grid. So if Dan, the sun is shining down on you today, it's put you on the front row of the grid. Automatically, your pole in the race, you've got this. I want to see Dan winning that thing, especially here. Dan, Matt has cursed you. So Mother Davis thinks I've cursed Dan. Kelly reckons PN's cursed him. I don't know if Sharkbait's listening to the stream, but that must mean that Joe's cursed you. So good luck to the other 13 drivers. Them 3 are doomed.
Hey, I'm the new.
Although
I'm
actually, there's 28. That Joe. This is the thing. When you're in the commentary box, there is no good luck. It's doomed from the start. There is no such thing as good luck in the comms box.
If Sharkbait wins this race, you can forget that and officially say that there is some good luck in the comms box.
You what? Sorry, say that again.
If I win this race, Jesus Christ! If Sharkbait wins this race, then you can forget about not having bad luck in the comms box.
Okay.
There will be good luck if Sharkbait wins.
Well, we'll see.
Right.
Deal? That's the deal. Dan is on pole. Checo Bress lines up second. It's Leon Fernie that has got to come through to third place as he avoids all the cars now and motors his way. I don't know what Kelly's doing. Kelly's meant to be fourth, so Checo Bress needs to go. Then Leon, who's up the inside of Kelly at the moment. Danlick should be backing off here a little bit. Right, so Leon is now in position. I'm not sure what Danlick's doing. Kelly is behind. There's a lot of guys pulling forward here. Well, this is a mess at the moment.
Good time. As there was a temporary lag spike, and there must be Fury getting back in the session because his camera's
I've been it.
Right, so Kelly now comes round the outside of Danlick. After Kelly, it should be Sharkbait, which it now is. After Sharkbait, then it's Benbath. So Leon, Kelly, Sharkbait, Benbath. Yep, after Benbath, it's John Andrews. Yes, it is. After John Andrews, it should then be Danlick. As the cameraman will pan around. Yes, it is. After Danlick, Ginger Bush. We can already see that is true. After Ginger Bush, it should be the big green and blue Bentley of Baraba. We'll see as they come over the brow of the hill. Yes, it is. After him, it should be Emo Guy. We can see that. Behind Emo Guy should be the blue and red Bentley of Future Revenge. Then Tech Leader J O, and then the new driver of CV. So everybody's in grid position. Dan will lead them across the line here. So Sharkbait for Joe, Kelly for PN, Dan for myself. The chat have gone 50% of the votes has gone the way of Dan, 28 the way of Ginger Bush, Sharkbait 11%, Ben Bath 11%. We will get that poll ended at the end of lap 1. Doomed me enough this season, says Daz. There's no getting away from it, Daz, says Jay. Tell me about it, Jay. God help me tomorrow night. If anyone can help you, he possibly could.
Well, if they exist.
Is going to be... Hey, Jay, I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen in these first couple of corners.
Set 2 is quite good cameras, by the way.
Yeah, but it kept changing and I'm not peering at. It's not as bad here as Silverstone, so we'll leave it. Snetterton, yeah, Snetterton was horrible.
You
cameras.
Really just disrespected Snetterton like that.
Oh, the camera. Joe, watch the stream back. Some of the camera angles was awful.
Oh, no, I remember. I watched
it. Dan now. Got to start to back the pack up. Am's always cleaner. Am's been the cleanest league out of the 3 of them all season. Am has been fantastic. Right, Dan backs the pack up now. We are in order. Dan has chosen here, PN, to take that inside line into turn 1. Don't forget, it's Dan who will predict. It's Dan who will make his mark to where he starts. He's really, really warming them tyres up here. Now, Joe, me and Mike come up with a theory last week in our party chat. We was watching you slide your Lexus around on the formation app, and we know you've had a couple of punches this season. Do you think that could be the cause of your problems?
No. Do you know what is? I
Hitting
go
the
into
curbs?
pits and put my old qualifying lap tires
right,
for some
okay.
reason. But I've now figured it out. I just changed the pit, strategy tires set all the way to the end, and obviously every single time the lobby resets,
change it up a bit more. Exactly. Mike Matthews, Dan, he's our man. If he can't do it, oh well.
No one can.
Love that. Love that. Oh well. Right. We're about to get to the start line, then. The race start has been initialised. We are green and go, and it's the Rattier who gets a brilliant start. Look at it, it's already pulled away from the rest of the pack. A few cars just bouncing off of each other further down the pack. It was Emo Guy, Jay, and I believe Baraba. But Dan leads into turn 1 from Checo Brest. Leon Fernie and Ben Bath looking around the outside of KLF already. And Ben Bath is now already up into P4. And Kelly gives him a bit of a tap up the rear. And Ben Bath backwards into the wall. That is not where he'll want to be. Kelly also in that, lost out to Sharpbait then. So it is Dan from Checo Brest as they come up towards the sector 1 time. You heard a lot of cars revving there. That wasn't them stop stationary. That was them just slow through the corners. So through sector 1 it's Dan. Checo Brest! I believe Ben's lost it again up the hill.
No, Checo's still safe.
Not Checo Brest, sorry. Ben, I believe, lost it up the hill.
JP's in the wall. He's just tapped Emo into the wall as well.
So JP, big damage to his car, but it's Dan from Checo Brest, Leon Fernie, Sharpbait, KLF, Danlick. Then it is O from the back of the grid. JP's had another wiggle and another slide. Baraba has to take to the grass to avoid him. So Baraba's now up another place. Ben Bath is down in P13 at the moment. John Andrews has got damage as well. Future Avengers got ahead into Ginger Bush, also not the best start. So let's retell you the order. Dan, Checo Brest, Leon Fernie, Sharkbait, KLF, Danlick with O on the back of him. Tech leader. Then it is Emo Guy. Then it is Jay who will cross the sector 2 time. Then it is Baraba. New driver of CV currently up to 12th. After CV,
Tech leader's off.
It is then Future Revenge. Then Ben Bath and John Andrews are rubbing doors a little bit. And Ben Bath looks up the inside of John Andrews into the chicane complex. We'll get to Tech leader in a moment with Joe and Ginger Bush on the back of him. Joe, what happened?
Coming into the tight, twisty right-left, Tech leader just seemed to get onto the curb a little bit, bounced over it and went wide off onto the grass, and then Emo Guy got side-by-side coming into the last 2 corners, and now Tech leader's diving down the inside. Oh!
We saw some good sending manoeuvres from Tech leader last week, but he can't get any done at the moment. Dan has a 3-second gap and it's Leon Fernie who's got himself up into second place. And look at the queue of cars behind Checo Bress at the minute. You've got Sharkbait, Kelly, Danlick. O's got Pest Danlick as well. Checo Bress here. A bit of a trolley train. Sharkbait is off onto the grass. Does he rejoin ahead of Kelly? No. Oh, actually, I didn't see what happened. The cameraman turned around late. What happened, guys?
I couldn't see properly, but it looked like... Oh! OC's just tapped Kelly round. Oh!
Ben Bath's in the pits to repair his damage.
So Kelly's gone wide by O then, and Danlick's now going to have a look up the inside of KLF. Kelly keeps it strong around the outside, front damage to the front and rear of that car for Kelly. And it's Dan who leads this race. It's now Emo Guy who looks up the inside of Danlick just behind. And Emo Guy now looks like he's got a bit of front end damage. He's going to try to switch underneath Kelly, and you've got to be wiser to do that. As Kelly had a spin on his own, and Emo Guy's just tapped him into the front way, into the front facing. So tech leader still going. He's currently side by side with Jay, and it is absolute carnage at the start of AM at the moment.
Yep. So much for a clean
Sharkbait was facing the wrong way.
Oh, Kelly's round.
Oh, that's in the part.
Kelly gets back going. Jay's got tech leader just in front of him, who's looking up the inside of Danlick then, and this is where Joe said he went wide last time. Doesn't want to do it again. He's a little slow through the first part. While all this has gone on, lads, Dan on Orthodox has got a 5.5 second lead out front over Leon Fernie. And it's Jay battling, Jay trying to overtake tech leader at the moment. This is the closest fight on track. There's a car off, final sector. That, I believe, is Sharkbait again. So the damage clearly enough for Sharkbait, who's had a nightmare at the moment. But so far, so good if you Dan.
Is sideways. Oh, tilted to one side. Oh, he's lost it again.
Yeah, that's bad. He's got bad damage on that car. He's clipped John. He's clipped John. I think Sharkbait needs to get that car in the pits, if you ask me. Either way,
I think he's trying.
Danlick is now the trolley train on tech leader and Jay here. And Mike Matthews in the chair. All these battles are allowing Dan to get away. He might actually win here. Indeed, he might. He's 7.5 seconds up the road as O's on the back of Checo Bress further up. We've said that when we've seen O race PN, he's got better and better each week. He's having a look. He's returned to pits. So John Andrews and Sharkbait have got back to the pits. Danlick's going to... So basically, anybody who passes Danlick where Danlick returns to the pit lane will then get ahead. So Ben Bath has the chance now to unlap himself from Danlick on a 2-minute pit stop that he's going to have. Jay up the inside of tech leader. I know these two are in a party chat together. And Jay, he's trying to get this one done in towards the final sector. There's 3 cars now in the pits. Ben Bath is back out. And Jay, championship leader, ahead of tech leader. One thing we didn't mention, Fury, is 6 winners in 6 races. Could we get race win number 7 for a 7th driver, which at the minute is the Retia?
Yeah, that's a bit of an underdog. No, I don't think anyone expected the Retia to lead, but that 7 for 7, that's completely different to what Pro's at. I believe Pro's only got 3 winners?
4.
One
in fact,
them,
actually,
the Silver
Ripper,
and Overtaker.
Yeah.
And technically Killer Camel. Because of Brands Hatch. We won't go there.
Brands Hatch.
We won't go there. I won on the circuit, but we won't go there. Tech leader now, 6/10 off the back of Jace. He's losing out to his championship rival at the minute. Don't forget, depending on tonight, Hitman, O, Checo Bress, Dan, Lee Hendy will all be out of the championship running. Obviously, we knew that. Some of these have came in late and had to miss races, so we knew they'd be out of the championship running, but that is the way it's going to look at the moment in terms of this. Ben Bath now on the same lap as Sharkbait, John Andrews and Danlick, and could find his way through sooner rather than later. At the moment, we're watching Tech Leader try and hunt down Jay again. We've got Emo Guy gaining on the back of Checo Bress here, Fury.
That GTR has seemed to come alive a little bit more now, which I'm actually quite surprised about considering. Oh, Jay's sliding.
Jay is sliding in the background, and he's not going to want to do that too much more because he's going to want to keep that pressure on Checo Bress and Emo Guy, who goes side by side. Checo Bress comes across to cover that inside line he's entitled to do, but Emo Guy gets a nose up the inside now. He's got to then do it around the outside. He's got to be later on the brakes. Misses his braking a little bit, but it doesn't hurt him too much as he gets it turning for the left-hander. Emo Guy moves into 4th. Jay and Tech Leader are now hunting them down as Sharkbait is out the pits. Ahead of John Andrews. Danlick still in there, and Ben Bath, I think when he comes through sector 2 now, he's back up to 13th place.
Kelly and Ginger Bush are having a fight for P10.
They are indeed, and Ginger Bush right on the back of Kelly, who's potentially got some damage himself on the front and rear of his car. And Ginger Bush going to want to make sure he can clear Kelly as quick as possible and make some progression up the order because he's got CV just in front of him. Let's go back to this. Oh, in fact, we'll keep an eye on this actually as Kelly defends that inside line. One of the toughest guys to defend from is KLF, and he defends that inside line of Ginger Bush into turn one. Ginger Bush going to try and go right around the outside. You've got to wake up earlier than that to do, Kelly. Jay and Tech Leader, though, have both done Checo Brest. So Checo Brest down 7th, Joe to 5th, Tech Leader up to 6th place. There's Kelly.
It seems to...
Go on, Joe, sorry.
Checo coming up. Ooh. Sorry. Checo's Porsche just seems really, really light on the rear. He just seems to be sliding it around every corner.
Oh, Ginger Bush is off. He was behind Kelly. He's made a mistake middle set, so he's not hit anything, thankfully. And just to say out front, Dan's gap now is 9 seconds in the lead of this race. So Dan is absolutely charging at the moment. And don't forget, Tech Leader might want to get himself back ahead of Jay. Jay's on the back of Emo Guy, but Tech Leader, just to say, by the way, only 8 points behind Jay in the championship standings, so may want to get a move on here to get this one done.
And Dan,
I think Jay's got the charge on everyone right now. Tech Leader just seems to be running wide on a couple of corners. But then for corners Tech Leader goes wide on, Jay seems to have a slide through them as well.
Yeah,
so it's
Jay,
a bit of ebbing and flowing.
It is. Good word, that. Good. That's when you know you're a proper commentator, when you use that phrase. Kelly will tell you. Jay now looks to tuck underneath Emo Guy out the final corner. Looks to have a run as Tech Leader's coming with them. Baraba's catching Checo Brest. You see in the background. Checo Brest widen onto the grass. That could give Baraba a run. Jay's going to look the long way around, though, on Emo Guy into turn one. Knows he's not going to get it done. And breaks a little earlier. Gets that back. Tucks underneath, though, on the exit. Great move from Jay. Has he got this one done? Dry line starting to show, says Daz in the chat. And Jay can't hang on to that one. And you can really see the dry air part of the circuit, Joe, can't you?
Yeah, you can just see the slightly faint light tarmac.
Oh, Checo Brest off at the hairpin. Baraba makes his way through. CV here on his debut in the top 10 at the moment. Kelly slaving to defend from Ginger Bush, who's looking round the outside at the hairpin. You ain't going to get that done there, and Kelly's going to be able to hold that from you at the moment. But Emo Guy under pressure now as O's made a mistake somewhere. O's now been passed by Emo Guy and Jay, and has got Tech Leader on the back of him, who's nearly drove into the back of him. Danlick really needs to get out of the pits here, as Jay really putting Emo Guy under immense pressure at the moment. And this is now for a podium.
Oh, wait. How many laps down is Danlick? How do I use timetables?
He's currently, I'll tell you where, in fact, hang on, we won't at the moment because Jay's going to look up the inside. He's got to do 75% of the race distance, or 75% of 45 minutes. Let's have a look.
That's going to be...
So Jay's got to be on the track for 33, near enough 34 minutes. Well, he's been out there for, what, 2 laps? 3 laps he's done?
Yes,
that's about 3 minutes, 4 minutes, if not 5 minutes closer to. So he's got to be out there, really, for a good half an hour. He's got 4 minutes to get himself out of the pits. He needs to make sure he's close to that 75 minutes as possible, as Jay, once again to the outside, can't get it done. Checo Brest is now coming under pressure from the new driver of CV. KLF still has Ginger Bush right behind him, and on the back of them is a very fast, fresh car of Benbath that Kelly doesn't really need to defend here, because Benbath a lap down and he's trying to unlap himself. Benbath's going to try and look around the outside of KLF, but Benbath's got to be careful because the rule is you've got to move over if you're being lapped, but if you're quicker, you can unlap yourself.
Yeah, obviously, well, with Ginger Bush and Kelly both having damage to their cars, I know there's also a battle going on, but they're better off just letting Benbath through because it's just going to cause a lot more hassle, and obviously being a back marker, he could get a penalty for it.
Yeah, indeed it is. So here comes then KLF, who's got Benbath trying to unlap himself, and Benbath, who slides through the corner, has got a much faster car because of the fact he's pitted. Emo Guy damage to his car. Have him and Jay had an incident?
Oh!
What happened?
Oh no!
Benbath went to unlap himself from Kelly, and Kelly just shut the door on him.
Oh dear. And has Kelly been overtaken by Ginger Bush? Yes, he has.
Yes.
Kelly slid. He closed the door. Then
Right.
slid, and then it just all unfolded from there.
Jay has made a mistake here because he was on the back of Emo Guy. He's now 6th.
He's behind Tech Leader.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what's happened. Evening to Peaceful Stepdad in the chat. Well, he's now down in 6th place, so don't know what's happened to Jay. He's boxing. He's boxing before the pit window. Championship leader in strife.
Oh, no. His Ferrari looks heavily damaged.
Dan has a 9.8 second lead from... I tell you what, Joe, we said it last week at Kyle Army when Leon Fernie was leading. He's 2nd place and doing really well again here.
Yeah, he just seems to be an evolved driver again. Obviously, he done well at Kyle Army last... Was it just Kyle Army?
Yep.
And then, obviously, doing well again this week. He just seems to have so much more confidence than what he used to do, which is a good thing. Which means he can just push himself a lot harder and just take the corners at a lot better speed.
KLF in the pits as well. And like you say, Joe, it's great to see because Leon Fernie, who's been here a while, you were surprised. He'd never had a race win earlier today when we was on about it. And when we look at the driver stats, Leon Fernie, this is his 88th race start. Never had a race win to his name.
Yeah, that's actually... Obviously, considering the pace he started getting recently, I'm surprised he hasn't won a race sooner.
Yeah. Oh, looks like he's starting to recatch Emo Guy then as we drop down further down the order. Checo Bress has been passed by CV Urena. Ginger Bush will now start to be catching on to the back of them. So Jay in the pits, Kelly in the pits. Ben Baff has unlapped himself. And Ben Baff is near the end of the circuit here. So a chance for Ben to be outside that top 10 a little bit.
Yeah, I feel for Ben Baff considering he was just trying to unlap himself and then had the door shut on him.
Right, let's see what these guys do. Aidan Bennett, evening all. So evening to Aidan Bennett. Same old, says Audio Sport in the chat. A peaceful stepdad. Good evening to Aidan, he's saying. But Dan now has over a 10-second lead. And Jay is out the pit, so he's ahead of Ben Baff. As Kelly still in the pits. It's going to be Ben Baff who's now going to pass him 4 position. So contact made earlier. It's now past 4 position. Shortbait's only 23 seconds behind as well. And they've got to pit again to change their tyres. But it's Dan who leads the way from Leon Fernie. Emo Guy is 3rd. But I tell you what, Fury. O is not giving up this fight on Emo Guy. In fact, actually, O's dropped off the back. And Tech Leader's now gaining on the back of O.
Yes. Obviously, O was in 3rd, sorry, not 2nd. O was in front of Emo Guy, but he must have made some sort of mistake. And obviously, Emo's got back past him. And now he's just trying to gain back onto Emo Guy, but he's got a very fast Tech Leader coming up behind him.
Yeah, it's got a very fast Tech Leader. And Tech Leader at the moment, 8 points behind in the championship standings from Jay. As it stands, Tech Leader will score 17 points. Jay will only score 10. All of a sudden, Tech Leader's a point behind you in this championship with 3 races to go. So Jay needs to, we said this last week at Kyle Army and Jay started to come through the field. He needs it again here, as well as he needs Tech Leader to start to fall back a little bit. But Tech Leader's in for a championship himself. Laura Sage in the chat. Come on, Leon Fernie, she says, as Tech Leader tucks underneath to have a look at O. You can see Leon Fernie, look up there, the light blue McLaren. Smoky Devil, evening drivers, wild first couple of laps. Go Leon, great start. Here comes Tech Leader though. I tell you what, this man has mastered the Sooty Send It. He did a few last week that was pitch perfect. He's done another one tonight that is absolutely golden. O's not let this one go yet. He comes back up the inside. He's telling you, oh! He's bounced off the curb and has hit Tech Leader in the side of the car. And Barava's just too far back to capitalise, but another Send It from Tech Leader.
Yeah, Tech Leader done that Sooty Send It absolutely perfectly. But I must say, O tried to return the Sooty Send It in a corner that you can't really overtake on. O's taken flight! Oh! Wow! Coming into the fast right-hander, O just clipped the curb and took off into the wall.
So O off into the wall then. We're currently watching Checo Bress. He's got Ginger Bush on the back of him. O then is, what car number is O? He's 75.
75. I'm hovering over tech leader.
Yeah, he's back going on the track, sorry. 5.74 is slow. That's Future Revenge, who's slow as Ginger Bush up the inside of Checo Bresh. Oh, wow. Now, I'm not sure what Future Revenge has hit, but his rear bumper is dragging across the floor. And I know why he's slow now. Front right, perhaps?
That's not turning at all.
Look at the state of the rear. Yeah, the rear of that. He's hit something backwards hard. And I've just clicked on as to why he's going slow. He probably can't put the power down without spinning, but also there's a lot of traffic, and this track is tight enough as it is. So Future Revenge, here then, I've just remembered I called him Revenge.
That's the wrong side.
No, it's the right side because he's off the racing line.
I just thought he was going to get to the corner a bit quicker than he is.
Well, let's see. Leon Fernie now, after tech leader and O's little debacle, has a 6-second gap back to them two. Emo's in the pits, O's in the pits, Baraba's in the pits, Danlick's still there. So Future Revenge, he's going to have a long pit stop, but he's got to do it in the pit window at least. CV stays out, Ginger Bush in, Checo Bress is in, PN a busy man at the minute. Jay stays out, Future Revenge, we know he's going to come in. He's crawling to the pits as Ben Baff and Sharkbait here are fighting for 12th and 13th place. Will they box straight away to get their car repaired? Well, if they do, they've got a massive Bentley that is kind of blocking that pit entry mark. And Ben Baff tries to pit. He can't pit. He gets in just in the nick of time. Oh, I thought he was going to hit the pit wall.
Oh, my God.
I thought he was going to hit the pit wall there. Wow, Baraba, he's clearly had less damage than Emo Guy and O because he's going to jump them both.
I don't think Baraba's repaired his damage looking at the back of his car.
Well, he must not have a lot on the back of that car then because he's away now. John Andrews and Kelly, will they pit? Ant in the chat, same can't be there to race tonight. Good luck to all the boys. Hopefully, Ant, you've had a good flight and you're back safe and sound.
Emo's away.
Emo's now away. O is now away. Emo stays ahead of O, but O is now a lot closer to Emo Guy. Oh,
cut pit exit.
Yeah, saw that one. Saw that one. I know you're watching carefully. Checo Bress out as well. Oh, clearly didn't get the memo, and he's a bit slidey on his tyres at the moment.
Kelly's in. Leon
Kelly's
in.
John Andrews stays out. Leon Fernie in. Tech leader leads this race. Dan, 18 seconds up the road. Well, I tell you what.
Gone.
Ben Baff nearly hit the pit wall, avoiding the Bentley.
In?
Oh
my God.
Wow.
I would question myself on that one because he started pulling in and then started to act
and
like
then just
he was
seemed,
going away and then came back in.
He did for me as well. So short bait John Andrews. So Future Revenge, KLF's Lynn. Danlick still in the pits. Is at the top 4 drivers yet to pit. Jay is now up to 9th, but he's yet to pit. Short bait, is he going to come into the box this lap? He is indeed. Laggy. No, he's not. He lagged into the pits for me, and he's actually then carried on going in a straight line. All safe. I hope I don't lose too many points on the championship leaderboard, says Ant. As it's just now down to John Andrews. Kelly back out on track, and away he goes, and will be ahead of Future Revenge, who I imagine is going to be in the pits for a very long time. As Leon Fernie stays P3, and Dan keeps his gap to 18 seconds over tech leader. Dan, though, will he box this lap? I've noticed with the Retia, watch its front splitter disappear under the track. Just watch it. When it bounces through the track, look, its front splitter goes underneath the track. When he brakes. Yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Is he just made out of the tarmac?
Yeah, that's possibly Dan's problem. It's no wonder it's understeering. It won't grip and turn in. Emo Guy's back in the pit lane here. Is that what you've just said, PM?
Yeah, I think he was on slicks. He was on slicks.
Oh, Emo Guy's race has gone from bad to worse. John Andrews in for his stop. Future Revenge is still there. Who's in? Jay's in. Thank you, Joe. So Sharkbait, Dan and Tech Leader still to pit. Racing Zandvoort in the rain is up there with one of my worst nightmares. Aiden, get ACC, get yourself involved. It'll be great to see you back out on the circuit next season, although Zandvoort will not be on the calendar. Donny Park might be, though, Joe.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. SimPlay straight and everything. Dan Lick's in the pits. That is potentially now going down as a retirement. John Andrews now in the pits. Jay in the pits. Emo's now away. CV Renner. He hasn't got away yet. Not sure what's happening to CV here. Sharkbait in. Are we definitely sure this time? I'll wait for that P to come up. He's definitely. He's actually in the pits this time. That's good to see. So it is just Tech Leader and Dan left to pit. Now I'm interested to see the gap between Tech Leader and Dan.
Kelly went very wide into the... Oh, Dan's coming up to lap Kelly. Kelly stays well out of the way. That's good, that's good.
17.7. So Tech Leader, bit of a damaged car in clean air, is ahead, is quicker than Dan in his Retia. But Dan's playing the long game here. Jay, Sharkbait, CV Renner can get going. Not sure why he's not got going yet. Jay's now away. CV Renner still in the pit. Sharkbait still in there. Kelly's back in. What's happened to Kelly? Slick tyres, PM?
We just check. Keep an eye on Jay's pit exit. Slick tyres.
Slick tyres for Kelly then.
Explain Kelly going off into the gravel.
Tech Leader is in the pits. As Sharkbait is now coming out the pits. Tech Leader in, so it is only your race leader who is yet to pit. 21 minutes left in this race. Joe, a bit chaotic at the start, but interesting strategies happening at the moment.
Yeah, I'm surprised Dan hasn't brought that Retia in yet with a big gap he has to everyone else. Because if I remember, it was like 10 seconds to Leon Fernie. I
think the thing is, he's got that track position at the moment, and if you look at the track map, Dan has got a lot of clear air in front of him.
That is very true. The thing is, I would retaliate to Tech Leader.
Yeah, I possibly would. It depends where Tech Leader comes out in relation to Leon Fernie. In fact, where he comes out to Leon Fernie might not matter. As John Andrews has span on the start straight. It's an interesting place to spin there. Tech Leader's now away. Leon Fernie's already up speed. Leon Fernie is ahead of Tech Leader then as everybody comes out the pits. It is only Dan left to pit. We await for the gaps to sort themselves out after pit stops, and we await for the gaps to sort themselves out overall.
Repaired his damage on that Ferrari.
Well, he was catching Dan still, so that's interesting to find out. The thing for me is, look at Dan's track space. The next car in front of Dan is just on the exit of turn 1, and Dan's got just under 3 minutes left. If Dan was to pit, it's 30-second pit stop, plus in and out. So let's say 60 seconds. Say Dan loses a minute. In that minute, you could have that gaggle of cars at the top end of the circuit coming towards Dan. So track position could be key here.
Yeah, I never really think of that. I just always look at the person.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I know.
In front or behind me, and then.
So your current running order is Unorthodox leads from Leon Fernie, 4 seconds clear of Tech Leader, 10 seconds ahead of Baraba. In 5th place as down the hill he comes. He's got Jay behind him, but Jay is a lap down to at the moment. 21 seconds off the back of Baraba. Checo Bress a bit behind him in 6th. Ginger Bush is 7th, trying to catch onto the back of Checo Bress. Emo Guy in 8th after his double pit stop. Jay is down in 9th at the moment. Is Jay on slicks? Because he looks a bit slidey and has lost out massively to O here. I just wonder. Ben Bath. He's not. Wet. Okay, Ben Bath 10th. CV Renner back out the pits 11th. Long pit stop for him. A Sharkbait's now back in. What's happened to Sharkbait? John Andrews is 13th. Future Revenge 14th. And KLF 15th place at the moment.
Sharkbait was on dries.
So Sharkbait on dries. Dan.
Lost you again, Matt.
Pulled my headset out. Dan coming towards the back end of the circuit. Will Dan pit this time round? This is the question.
He has to. He'll run out of time.
Yeah, he will run out of time. That's actually a good point. So Dan does have to pit this lap. He surely knows this. And he does look. Stays to the middle of the track. Pulls right now. Dan Davis into the box.
That's a late break.
Oh.
But he cuts that so fine. I thought he was going to tap that wall and then go into the pit wall.
Yeah, I thought he was going to tap the wall as well. Right, so Dan is in. And Leon Fernie is at the top part of the circuit. So we keep our eyes on when Dan's number goes green. There's no real battles on the track happening at the moment. You'll notice a lot of cars are spaced between sectors with each other here, because that's why there's no time in, there's no plus whatever between the drivers at the minute. So Jay's trying to hunt down Emo. There's a chance for Kelly to get himself ahead of Sharkbait in this race and score a few more points as we head to Silverstone for AM next week. We keep our eyes on Dan's Little Orange number 1 going green as Leon Fernie is coming into the last sector. He's at the chicane now. He's got 4 corners, 3 corners, 2 corners, and Dan's now gone green. So now we wait for that P to disappear. It's disappeared. It's done. Dan still leads and has a healthy margin over Leon Fernie, Joe.
I think Dan's opened up the gap.
Well, it was 18 seconds when Leon pitted. So we'll see when Leon gets to the line, and maybe Sector 1 when it updates itself after Dan's pit stop, what the gap will be. But if you look at Dan, look, he's come out behind Benbath in 10th. Now, Benbath, a quick guy. Will Benbath pull away here? It's 69 seconds. That isn't the actual gap. We'll wait till Sector 1 when it will sort itself out. Tech leader, though, is trying to close that gap. That's now down to 3.2 to Leon Fernie. So Leon Fernie's really trying to push to catch Dan, but he's being caught by potentially the new championship leader at the end of this race.
It all depends where Jay can finish. And if... Ooh. So Dan's lapped everyone up to Emo Guy.
So Emo's lapped as well.
No, Emo's lapped, yeah. Checo Bress is +1. Right, the gap is 19 seconds. So Dan gained about a second, but Tech Leader has gained another 8/10 through Sector 1. It's Checo Bress who's currently a lap down. He's not really, though, because he's about to cross the line, start another lap. He's got Ginger Bush right on the back of him. So Ginger Bush for position. Checo Bress pulls to the inside line to defend. Here comes Ginger Bush to try and get past him. Tries to the outside. They're both now back on the lead lap. But Checo Bress, he's gone a little deep as Ginger Bush tries to tuck back underneath. Does he get that one done? I think he may do now as Checo Bress. They're coming to turn 2. One bounces off one curb into turn 3. Ginger Bush now in front. Yes, good move from Ginger Bush. He's up to P6. Emo Guy is ahead of Dan, so he is also on the lead lap. No, he's not. He's behind Dan, so he is actually a lap down. So there we go. Yeah. Now, this is going to be interesting. Dan's pace, I don't think he's going to be as quick as these 2 cars around him. What does Dan do here?
I mean, he's already far enough. There's only 15 minutes left of the race. If Emo gets right up behind him and is that quick, if I was Dan, I'd let Emo through.
Let him go, yeah.
Without a mistake, Emo's not going to catch you in 15 minutes.
Well, 100%. That is a retirement for Danlick. So that will be a start at the back of the grid next week for him. And it will be the very...
He didn't retire last week, did he?
No, he didn't. No, I don't think we had a retirement last week. Right, Dan's got Emo Guy Hassel in the back. Tech leaders within a second now of Leon Fernie. They've got 11 seconds to Baraba. So Baraba here, he's got to try and push to get back on this podium. Kelly's trying to catch Future Revenge and Sharkbait, who are 2 laps down. Oh, Leon, don't touch that curb there. You do not want to hit that curb there at all.
Don't really want to hit any curb in the wet, really.
Or even
No,
dry.
I mean, the Bentley's not too bad in them.
Well, the Bentley's
It's a boat, so it sails over and not hits them.
You're correct there.
Future Revengers around again.
So Future Revenge around again. That'll help Kelly try and catch him. Tech leader now, though, Joe, is right on the back of Leon Fernie. And with Baraba 11 seconds behind, Leon's trying to fight here, isn't he?
I mean, if I was Leon Fernie, I would try and fight it as well, considering, obviously, he started to do really well. He's got the consistency and the pace, but you've got a quick coming Ferrari behind you. If he's that quick, you can't really defend from him.
No, you can't at all. 0.2 of a second, though. But they have extended their gap to Baraba. So Baraba has dropped back a little bit from these pair. The thing for Dan is here, he's watched the gap between Dan and the leaders now as Tech Leader pulls to that inside. The gap is just over 20 seconds. Tech Leader's going to look for another send it, Joe, although he's pretty much alongside. Gets into the braking zone. Can't get it done over Leon this time, though.
Leon, shut that door.
Leon said, no, not today, my friend. Not
today. So Tech Leader's going to have to do it again. Right, the longer Tech Leader takes to get past Leon Fernie here, the longer it's going to be till he catches Dan. Are we in for 7 winners in 7 races here in the AM League? What a championship this is turning out to be. It's by far been one of my favourites, up there with, I think it was season 4 of Kelly and Joe. Tech Leader's hit the grass. He's in a spin. He's caught the car. But that's going to lose him time, and it takes the pressure off of Leon Fernie here, just for that second place with 13 minutes left to go. You have to say...
Future Revenge to lap as well.
They have got Future Revenge to lap. Future Revenge has let them go. And he's going to let CV Urena go. Well, he doesn't want to let the next one go because Kelly's for position, Future Revenge. So you need to get going now.
Oh!
Because Kelly's for position.
A bit too quick.
And thank your mama for the carrots. First one tonight.
Thank your mama for the carrots.
I don't like carrots, so...
Do you not?
No, I don't. I don't want
fair
Future Revenge, to be honest.
So Kelly's now got to try and defend from Future Revenge. Daz Automatic, like Larry Grayson. Shut that door, he says in the chat.
No latte, no latte. What?
Please.
Oh, what? What? It's
No
not film,
Paddy
that's a
McGuinness.
TV show.
No Paddy McGuinness, please. No. That's not top tier. Oh, Ben Bathurst around and spun it in front of Dan.
Oh, they haven't. Has he made contact?
No, he missed it by a
Where's
hair.
Emo gone? Where has Emo gone?
Driver.
He's well in front of Dan. Dan's let him go. Dan has let him go. Right, Future Revenge still trying to attack the back of Kelly. Not close enough at the moment. Tech leader though.
Fernie has got Tech Leader on the back of him like a cheap suit.
Yeah, just about to say the same thing. Smokey Devil, brilliant driving from Leon tonight. Great defending. Yeah, it really has been. 2 weeks back to back. I've been really impressed with the way Leon Fernie has driven his car.
Yeah, he's really impressed me as well tonight.
Right.
Considering first season in Project Cars 2 when he took Smithy out. Back then.
Was it back?
It was on Project Cars 2, yeah. Where
I knew he started back on Project Cars 2 days, but... I only thought he ever run F1.
He normally
he did a bit of GT3s and he did. I think he did touring cars and clears as well. Carrots make you see in the dark, say Phil. They certainly do. Or at least that's what I tell. So at least that's what I tell my youngest. Tech leader now has a look on Leon Fernie into the chicane, but can't get the job done. These two have actually caught Dan a little bit here. The gap's now under 20 seconds. Mike Matthews, hats off to Dan in the red here tonight. Faultless so far. And driver of the day moment. Not a good track for that car at all. Well, it's a shame, Mike, that Dan won't make the driver of the day list, isn't it? No, I'm joking. I've already got it typed out. I'll put it in the driver of the day list. Ada Bennett, need to have a bingo card for things Matt says every stream. We'll do that next season, Ada Bennett. We'll have to have a bingo card out and see who can get what.
We'll post it on X so you can download it.
As Tech leader has a look up the inside of Leon Fernie. Can't get that job done there. Least we forget PC2. I'd love to forget PC2. I had good memories on it. As Tech leader's going to now look into turn 3 and nearly caught the back of Leon Fernie there. He's now looking each way till Sunday, Joe, to get this move done.
Yeah, obviously coming through turn 3, that's just not a move you can make. It's too risky. It's just too risky.
So all the way down to Emo Guy are on the lead lap at the moment. Ben Baff is trying to catch his teammate Jay. Check Dan's pit entry, says Daz Automatic. Oh, no way. No way. Have you seen something we didn't? Oh. Well, at the minute, he only needs to gain 10 seconds, and that's job done, and Tech Leader somehow there doesn't go into the back of Leon Fernie's boot.
I think that's more
He's trying anything and everything he can to get past Leon Fernie.
He wants to be in the carrot bag in the boot of the car home with the daily grocery shop, does Tech Leader at the moment, because through into the final couple of corners, we're down into the last 9 minutes. Tech Leader... He's a quick guy. Let's not take anything away from his pace. But Leon Fernie is doing a stellar job. He's putting the car, Joe. Oh, apart from there, he's putting the car in exactly the right position it needs to be in.
Yeah, he's parking it on the apex very well. And
Here comes Tech. No.
No. Leon Fernie closes it.
Oh, Tech's gone into the gravel there. That's going to cost him a bit of time and a bit of speed and momentum through these final corners.
If I remember correctly, a famous commentator named Mathew Duffin once said, it's Jason Plato-esque.
Jason Plato-esque. And if I remember rightly, that commentator you're on about is second on PN's all-time favourite commentator list, behind Murray Walker, before Ben Edwards. Dan Davis was like right down the order. On that list. Mike Matthews, I'm sure Matt will do some others though were well out. I don't know what you mean, Mike. I wouldn't do such things. You see the picture on the Discord today that Ben Baff sent us, works at Brands Hatch.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
where you.
Oh, Leon's off! Oh, tech leader's in the wall! So Leon Fernie up, skipping a jump. He thinks it's Easter across the gravel, but tech leader spins into the wall. Sifu Urena's gone in the wall behind as well. John Andrews is now off. All at the same section of the track. They've all had a moment. Kelly's lost out to Future Revenge somewhere as well. Wow, is it getting wetter there or something? That seemed... 4 cars, the first 4 cars that come through there, all had a moment.
Yeah.
I think Leon Fernie had a heart and mouth moment with that one, because he took flight.
I think Leon's overalls changed the colour.
I think they did as well. Right, Emo Guy just noticed that he has got past Dan, has pulled away from Dan, and is now 4.7 off the back of Checo Bress. The important thing for Leon Fernie in this situation is he's ahead of Dan, meaning he's on the lead lap. So if Dan finishes this race and Emo gets to the back of Checo, he's on that lead lap. He'll get that extra lap to try and get past Checo Bress, who's had a spin and is into the wall. Tries to spin it round. Careful, Checo. Leaders come in. Oh. I know somebody that would have been a very angry man if contact would have been made there.
Are they driving a Vettia by any chance?
Yes, Emo doesn't need the extra lap now. He's past Checo Bress. Good move. Right, your race order then is currently Unorthodox 16, who leads the way in the Rettia. Could equal that of the Lexus, the Cadillac, the Lexus. I was about to say the Cadillac, but nobody's driven the Cadillac. It will equal the Lexus, the Nissan, and the Chevrolet for race win. Chevrolet, obviously, that Dan won in the Spa 2.4 hour. It will also have its first podium to be tied with the Chevrolet. And it would give Dan race win number 56 in his current total at SimPlay Motorsport in his 191st race to equal him with Dean Wysocki on that list. He'll be above Dean Wysocki, or he'll be tied with Dean Wysocki again come Sunday next week. But Dan, at the moment, what did he say on his interview Sunday night? Might not drive the Rettia. It's not great round here. No. You know, I don't want to hear that excuse anymore, Joe.
No, he's just, I think he was covering for himself a little bit. He
Yeah.
knew what the Rettia had, but he just didn't want to give it away.
Sandbagging in free practice on the stream tonight. Didn't want to give anything away if anyone was listening on stream in his interview Sunday. Yeah. Oh, who's that
Tech
across the grass?
Leader's on.
Tech Leader. Yeah, Baraba now. 9 seconds off the back of Tech Leader. Well, I'll tell you what. This could be an interesting one. Kelly down in 15th place. This could do wonders. Oh, I say wonders. He
Leon
started
Fernie's gone
4th
now.
today. O's going to gain a lot of points of him. So is Checo Bress. So is Dan. But Kelly is on 55 points. So I think Kelly will still be starting on that second, third row of the grid next week, depending on the driver's 4 minutes left. Tech Leader's got to go to second a lap as Baraba puts a lap on Future Revenge. And at the top of your screen, you did see Tech Leader going into turn 1. In terms of Jay, he is on the same lap as Checo Bress, but he's currently a sector... In fact, where is Checo Bress? Car 83. Yeah, he's a sector behind Checo Bress at the moment, but Checo Bress has got bad damage. So Jake's trying to come at him then. Baraba's now 7 seconds to Tech Leader. So is Tech Leader even going to be on the podium here? Baraba's not been on the podium all season, I believe.
Tech Leader's off again.
Yeah, Baraba's not been on the podium all season and all of a sudden could find himself on the podium. Tech Leader off again. He's very slow.
Future Revenge.
What happened?
Coming into the quick right-hander where everyone seemed to, on one lap, take flight, Future Avenger seemed to go straight off into the wall and then bounce off and come back onto the track, but luckily no one was close enough to make any contact with him.
What will Baraba do now? Because he's now gaining on the back of Tech Leader. Leon Fernie's 23 seconds behind. Tech Leader is now... Well, he's not come through that sector time yet. He's now 8 seconds behind Leon, so I think Leon's going to hold on for that P2 here. And Baraba is 4.2 off the back of Tech Leader, so the Bentley all of a sudden starting to gain on the Ferrari due to Tech Leader's mistakes at the minute.
He's gained, I believe, 5 seconds over Tech Leader.
Aidan Bennett. Yeah, he has. Aidan Bennett, I've been clutching on to the SimPlay winners list since Season 2 of Project Cars 2, taking it to the grave. Aidan, as long as SimPlay Motorsport is going, you will forever be on that winners list. And it was great to see you win a race. As there is, look, Tech Leader just ahead of John Andrews. So, Game on for Baraba here, you know.
3.6 down from 4.2.
Game on for Baraba.
Yeah, Baraba's going to push like hell.
Dan may want to push like hell if he heard Daz's comment of check Dan's pit entry. Well, he's going the right way about being 30 seconds in front because he's absolutely flying at the minute and is near enough 30 seconds in front. He's 24.
Naughty,
Or
Dan.
what happens if he's 29.999 ahead of Leon Fernie and he did actually cross the pit entry?
Technically, Leon Fernie will win by like...
That would be heartbreaking, wouldn't it? By 1,000th of a second. That would be absolutely heartbreaking. But it's not about that. I don't know if Daz was just joking or not. I saw nothing wrong with Dan's pit entry.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, no, I saw nothing wrong with it. I saw it was very close to speeding and bouncing off the inside wall. But I saw nothing wrong with Dan's pit entry. But we are watching Baraba. 3.8 is the gap to Tech Leader. There is Tech Leader.
Dan's lost 2 seconds.
Dan has lost 2 seconds. That might be through the twisty parts where he struggles. There's Baraba in the background. So 3.8 was the gap last time. It's 3.3 now. So Baraba is just starting to catch. But I think there's 2 laps left because I haven't heard it say leaders on the final lap. And Dan is... Has Dan got a scuff on the front of his car?
I can't see.
Front right of Dan's car. In fact, the front bumper.
Yes, he has. The front bumper and
and the right-hand side of the car.
He's gone off into the wall.
That's where he's lost the 2 seconds and he's hit something at the moment.
But there's not even a car near him, so it must have been on his
Must have been his own mistake, yeah. 3 seconds for Baraba.
Or was it
Down to Tech Leader. So Dan here, well, he's got to hang on here. Shane saying I thought he did. I tell you what, I've got 2 drivers of the day for me.
Same here.
I've got 2.
No one's won yet, Smithy. You're in the wrong chat again.
You're in the wrong chat, Smithy.
I think I've got 2 as well.
Yeah, I've got 2. And I think we've all got the same 2, if I'm going to be honest with you. Dan, though, comes into the final sector. There's 30 seconds left this race. I haven't heard race control tell us that the leader is on the final lap. If Dan has had a moment, though, and is a bit slower this lap, he may want this to end. 18 seconds. Now then, the gap to Baraba and Tech Leader's back up to 3.3. Dan is really slow at the moment. This will be the last lap of the race. It is going to be, for the first time this season, the 6-time champ, Dan Unorthodox,
He's just
wins the race. It is Unorthodox 16 who is your race winner. It's going to be Leon Fernie to bring her home in 2nd place. What a drive from this man, Leon Fernie. An absolute stellar drive from Leon. A 2nd place of absolute fantastic driving. Could not be happier for Leon Fernie. Tech Leader is going to be the man to come home in 3rd place. He's just managed to hang on from Baraba, who will take that P4. As we wait for Checo Bress has also crossed the line. He is P8. Jay is down in 9th place. Not the result he'd have wanted. Ben Bath in 10th. Neither for him. John Andrews crosses the line, P11.
Leon's in the comms box.
As OCM crosses the line for P5. Good result for Ginger Bush is going to then get P6. Good result for him. Emo Guy will be the next car and the final car on the lead lap to come to the line. Future Revenge finished down in 14th place. KLF finished in 15th. CV Urena on his debut, 13th place for him. Sharkbait after multiple pit stops, only good enough for P12. Shame for him. And then we are literally just awaiting the Nissan to come to the line. P7 for Emo Guy. Good job for him. We hopefully will get... Can we get Tech Leader in as well?
I just invited him.
There we go. So hopefully we can get Tech Leader and Dan and Leon Fernie into the commentary box for a quick word. PN, just to say here, it's a draw for driver of the day for sure. Dan and Leon got to be Dan for driver of the day. What a drive! Leon a close second, but think the car Dan is driving gives him the edge. What a drive, Sun says Smoky Devil. Indeed, at the moment, The chat is voting the way of Leon Fernie with 10 votes in the chat. PN, final thoughts from yourself?
And Kelly just going head first at each other.
Yeah, just seeing that. PN, final thoughts from yourself?
Well, what a win for Veretia. No one expected that, really, did they?
No, they didn't. Driver of the day?
Dan and Leon.
Yeah. Fair enough there. We will, though, get to speak with our P3 driver, and it is Tech Leader, and I believe this is the first time I've spoken to Tech Leader. So, welcome to the podium. Not sure if we can hear you, so we'll run through the things if you'll be able to hear us at another time. But just talk us through your race there.
So it seems to be a bit of a casual start. I knew, obviously, with the wet weather, it was going to be a bit risky on that first corner. So I kind of held it back and seemed to get up to about 7th, I think, on the first lap, which was great from P14, I think. And just tried to be calm and consistent, really. Managed to work my way through, a few people making mistakes. And, yeah, it's great racing with Leon Fernie. I definitely felt I had the pace, but his defence was it was brilliant. So hats off to him for second place as well.
Now, obviously, you took your first win last week. You had great pace again this week. This Ham League, though, is tough. It's 7 winners in 7 races.
It's very tough, yeah. I mean, the pace of everyone in here is definitely not an amateur league. But it's great, we got some really great competition and some really fair racing. We have the odd bumps and stuff, but generally some nice fair racing.
We head to home soil next week, Silverstone, a track we all know well. Based on the UK's weather at the moment, that could possibly be wet. What are you hoping to do at Silverstone?
Much the same as today, really. Keep it calm, try and keep the car under control, and as little mistakes as possible. It's a very, very fast track. So, yeah, but a lot of runoff area, not like this track, where if you go off, you're hitting the wall. So, yeah.
Indeed. Well, Tech Leader, well done on the P3 tonight. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks very much.
No worries. And we've got Dan in, and he's a 6-time champion here at SimPlay Motorsport. He jumped in the Retia. He didn't think it was possible. We didn't think it was possible. Dan, that must feel one of your best victories yet.
Hell no.
Oh.
I will tell everybody now, if anybody's thinking about signing up and racing ACC, I am confirming now, do not touch the Retia. This thing is an absolute disgusting animal. It drives terrible. It understeers like mad. And the only reason I won here tonight is because Leon Fernie and I think it was Checo put on the most amazing defensive drive, and all I had to do was disappear. So it was literally down to them at the end of the day. But I'll take it. The Retia gets its debut win. That's 2 cars are giving its debut win now. The Retia and the Chevy. So, hey, obviously this car is horrendous.
We think we found out why it's horrendous. When you watch the stream back, you'll notice your front splitter disappears under the track. Maybe the team needs to sort that one out. But talk us through your race tonight, because it was a quiet race, really, after the opening couple of laps.
Well, the idea was stay on track with this thing. These guys are doing 43s and slightly sneaking into the 42s in the wet. I'm struggling to stay in the 44s in this thing. So the idea was this is going to be the only time I'd be on pole. I literally joined in this thing just to see how bad it is and see if these boys could beat me in it. And Kyle Army was a prime example. That was Retia at its best, at its its actual performance. I just got lucky with a tight track, on pole, disappear. So, yeah, I mean, it was literally just survive lap 1 and then try and build a gap before all the quick boys started coming. But I had, obviously, Fury's granddad is in the party with me, and he's got the stream going. I can just hear there's just chaos going on behind me. Yeah. I've got my dad in the stream as well, which was nice to race with my dad. But I could just tell he's not happy. He's not a happy boy. Yeah, that's all it was, disappear, and then I hit a wall. So that was good fun as well. Yeah,
I was just about to say, talk us through hitting the wall at the end. We saw that Leon had gained about 2 or 3 seconds over you, turned to you to see damage on your car. What had happened?
So me and Dad were discussing cars. He's talking about obviously maybe next season doing a proper season and trying to think of different cars for him to drive. I just lost concentration talking about the Aston Martin.
Bit of a Senna moment.
Yeah, I fell asleep in the middle sector. The rear end stepped out and into the wall I went. But yeah, that's all that was. But
quickly, Porsche Cup Sunday night, Alton Park. What can you do around there? And then secondly, Silverstone next week in the Retia. What can you do around there?
British tracks, they're just terrible, aren't they? They're just disgusting. Alton Park is a bouncy track. The Porsche Super Cups don't like bounce. I've got to take my hat off to Fury. He's got Porsche Super Cup nailed at the minute. He's very good at it. Gary's back, so yeah, even more hard work as well. I've tried one tactic at Brands, it didn't work. This tactic at Snet was more stable, so I might just have to stay stable and just hope for the best. Regarding Silverstone, I know this thing is an animal in a straight line, so there's a lot of straights at Silverstone, and I don't think anything can get near it in a straight line. It's so powerful. But the likes of Maggots, Beckett's and Cops and stuff like this, it's just going to understeer and go wide. So just don't drop it again. That's all I'm hoping for.
Well done tonight, Dan. Congratulations on the victory as well. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to get Leon Fernie in, but a massive shout out to Leon in this race. Joe, we've had Pien's final moments, final thoughts on driver of the day. Give us yours.
Final thoughts on the race is obviously a congratulations to Dan for even managing to tame that animal around here for a start and managed to get such a big gap ahead of everyone else and bring it home for the win. And for my driver of the day, it's got to have to be between Leon Fernie and Dan. It's so hard to pick between those two.
Give it to Leon. Like, I got lucky. He actually put on a fantastic drive tonight. Give it to Leon.
I've got to give it to both of you. It's so difficult to pick between you two. Because obviously you put on an amazing drive, Leon put on an amazing drive and defense. But it's just also the fact that you managed to get one of the most difficult cars in this game around the track.
Well, that is Joe's driver of the day. Pien's gave us Dan and Leon as well. I'm going to end it on Dan and Leon as well. So for the commentators, Dan and Leon, both joint driver of the day. We can't separate them. But in the chat, it is going to go the way of Leon Fernie, who takes driver of the day. So congratulations to Leon. For the fans, poll of driver of the day. Final thoughts for Silverstone, for Zandvoort. What an absolute race it was. Bit chaotic at the start, but the Retia gets its first race win. Leon Fernie on the podium. We now move to Silverstone in the AM, where you can't overtake at Cops, apparently. I'm sure these AM drivers will want to try and get it done. From Verstappen's backyard to Lewis Hamilton's backyard is where we go next in the Amateur League. You can join myself, Fury, and PM Motorsport live next Tuesday night, 8 p.m. UK time for that one. If you want to stay in tune with SimPlay Motorsport this week, make sure you check out tomorrow night, 8 p.m. UK time. Once again, myself and Benedict Varga will be in the comms box for the Pro-Am race around Zandvoort. PM Motorsport will be at his best in his Aston Martin V8 around there. And then join Dan Davis and PM Motorsport in the comms box, 8 p.m. UK time Thursday, once again for the Pro Night, where Fury will be trying to get his Lexus up that grid with a quali banning race too as well. So you'll have to see what he can do from there. I won't be here this week, unfortunately, but I will be back on Sunday evening with PM Motorsport in the comms box for Porsche Cup, where Fury won't have a quali ban and I'll be wanting to get another pole position and another race win. Alton Park is the destination for that one there. We hope you enjoyed what you have watched at SimPlay Motorsport. Please hit that bell to be notified, the thumbs up button if you like what you see here, and don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button as we fast approach 500. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Freedom, I never had the chance to run. Leave behind the said and done. Figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out, way beyond the shadow.
times and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now, when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I. Just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground so we can fly again. 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 I've been trying hard not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive.